All right, we are live. A lot going on, folks. Come on in. Come on in. We got earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, king tides, solar flares, ring of fire. Come on in, folks. A lot of different things going on. We're going to talk. Oh, my goodness. It is rocking and rolling on Alaska, going down to Hawaii, along the Pacific coast with the tides. We got solar flares popping up in the sky. We got a lot of things, and some people are saying this is all interconnected in one way, shape, or form. We take you to Hawaii right now at the same time that a 7.1 earthquake rocked Alaska a little bit earlier, probably about an hour and 15 minutes or so. I've been monitoring that right on the Canadian border. At the same time, you got this volcano that erupted in Hawaii, and they got a live feed up. This is a current feed right now. This is Kilauea. If I'm butchering that name, I had to do one of those pronunciations. But if you want to know the name of this volcano or this mountain here, this is what it's called. I'm going to put this in right here. I'm going to put this in right here.
Kilauea.
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 Kilauea. Kilauea. So we got Kilauea. See a lot of people piling into the chat. A lot of things going on, and we're also monitoring, the king tides that are going on. Today was the peak of the king tides. A couple days ago, massive waves that are hitting the west coast of the United States. But here we go, folks. Let's have a conversation and talk. Is this connected in any way, shape, or form? I'm not a scientist. I don't proclaim to be a scientist, a geologist, or anything like that. But we got some interesting stuff. And very concerned about the next big one. And, I've been looking at a lot of articles and stuff like that. They are predicting something, possibly something in the foreseeable future. But a 7.0 is nothing to mess with. A 7.0 earthquake rocked Alaska today. And at the same time, this volcano erupts. Now, we all know about the Ring of Fire. We know about going all the way to Indonesia, up to Alaska, going all the way down to Chile and that sort of deal. They call it the Ring of Fire. And I'm just wondering if these things are connected and something is brewing below the surface. Here's we embedded something on the bottom of the screen here when it says earthquake, Alaska, Western Canada, 7.0. So first, let's talk about the earthquake. Let's talk about the earthquake. I was looking for a live feed. I was also looking for, oh my goodness, was there going to be a tsunami? It appears like the tsunami is not going to happen. This happened actually in a mountainous region near a mountain. So it didn't happen offshore. It actually happened on land. But 7.0 is nothing to mess with. We get a 7.0 in the United States of America, we're going to have some big problems. A powerful 7.0 earthquake has struck a remote area near the border between Alaska and Canada, territory of the Yukon on Saturday. Hey, Tom and Lauren, thank you very much. Nice to see you from Florida. Geothermal engineered. That's what Lauren 911 says. Thank you for the continuous coverage of so many different things. So much has been geothermal engineered. We really appreciate all of you, Magnolia, and what Magnolia does. Stay safe. God bless. And Merry Christmas season. Thank you to you too, Tom and Lauren. William Kaufman, always great to see you as always. Thanks for stopping by, William Kaufman, each and every day. This is pretty crazy looking here. This is spewing out. Now, there's been quite a few different volcanoes that have been spewing out lava, hot lava. You can see the smoke and everything like that. It's live. But it's pretty wild scene. So north in Alaska today, they had a 7.0 earthquake, a powerful magnitude 7.0 earthquake rocked Alaska and the Canadian territory of Yukon on Saturday. There was no tsunami warnings, and official says there's no report of damage and injuries at the time. I was looking at Anchorage, and I was looking at Fairbanks, and I was looking at Vancouver, and I was looking at some of the big cities here to see if anyone felt it. Now, I will say, did anyone feel the earthquake? Did anyone feel the earthquake? Anyone from Alaska? I've been eyeing Alaska lately in reference to my own personal life of you know, those homes up there in Alaska. I'm like, hey, it would be pretty cool to live in Alaska in a cabin, really remote. It's kind of fascinating. Especially you live, you know, towards the coast, you know, but it does get cold. It does get cold. Brutal winters, and you know, the winters farther north you go, there's no light. No property taxes. No property taxes in rural areas outside of communities. But 7.0, basically it's like at the southern, you know, southeastern tip of Alaska here, where this earthquake happened. But you know, this could be the next one could happen. You know, don't forget, right outside Anchorage, there's a volcano, or there's a mountain that's ready to erupt anytime. We've also been monitoring that. I'll talk to you a little bit about that. But this thing, magnitude 7.0 earthquake rocks Alaska, sending tremors across the continent. So they're saying people have felt it. An earthquake of 7.0 rocked Alaska, with tremors being felt as far away as Canada. The United States Geological Survey said on Saturday that the quake struck the region around the Yucatan in the state at a depth of 6.21 miles. Shallow, 6.21 miles down. Yucatan, if I'm saying that incorrectly, I apologize. We butcher a lot of names on JLR Investigates because we learn about these new communities each and every day that we never talked about. Has a population of just 657 people in 2020, and it is 300 miles away from Anchorage, Alaska, where the quake was also felt. Oh, they're saying the quake was felt in Anchorage, Alaska. The USGS recorded another 3 quakes, aftershocks, including a magnitude 5.3 and a magnitude 5.0 a little bit after this earthquake hit. What time did it? What was the exact time? I'll get the exact time here shortly. In Whitehorse, Canada, Royal Canadian Mounted Police said the detachment received 2 911 calls about the earthquake. It definitely was felt in the community. There was a lot of people on social media, people that felt it. According to NASA, there are an average of 18 major earthquakes measuring between 7 and 7.9 a year, with one greater earthquake that is above 8.0. Now, that's a pretty big deal considering, you know, there's a lot of things going on with the king tides, solar stuff, the moon lining up with the earth parallel and going the same distances, or, you know, all lined up with the sun, things shooting out of the sun right now. They average 18 major earthquakes of 7.0 to 7.9 a year. Here is one of them. So you only get about 18 of these. You only get about 18 of these a year. You know, there's earthquakes that really pop up almost every day around the world, almost every day. Little small ones, right? Sometimes we feel it here, sometimes we don't. But is this something to come? Is there something brewing here? The magnitude of the quake is the strength of it, with a 7.0 to 7.9 considered a major shake that can cause serious damage. Allison Bird works with the Natural Resources in Canada, said part of the Yukon most affected by the tremor is home to scenic mountains and very few people. It's where they got lucky. It's where they got lucky. You got lucky. Got lucky. Folks, this could hit right outside of Fairbanks. This could hit right outside of Anchorage. This could hit right outside of Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, San Andreas Fault, somewhere Los Angeles. This could be the precursor of something big, because a lot of these geologists and people that work in the industry, NASA, and they've been ringing the bells the last couple months saying something is happening. And we'll get into that shortly. Something might be happening here. At this time, no major travel impacts are expected. If any issues are identified, updates will be shared through Alaska 51. I don't know what that is. Alaska, the Area 51. Alaska 51 is some sort of media outlet out there. Alaska 51. In September, a large-scale 7.8 quake off of Russia's east coast set a tsunami alerts in Alaska. We actually watched that live, remember? And also Hawaii. Remember the tsunami warning? But that it came, but it didn't really come into fruition. Thank God. Yes, this quake may have influence on Mount Spur near Anchorage. I lived in Anchorage in 5th and 6th grades and know Mount Spur very well. The tectonic plates are shaking around. Murky. Now, speaking of Mount Spur, there's speculation that Mount Spur, that is the mountain. I guess that's the one we're talking about outside Anchorage. They had it back, about 2 decades ago or so, a little while back, and there was all types of ash that fell all over the residents' homes and cars and things like that. That we were actually going to do a live feed a couple months back talking about possibly that it's going to erupt or break out at Mount Spur. Let me see, give you some information on that. We were going to do a live feed there. And then also, folks, they're now reporting that a 3.5 earthquake has just struck a little bit to the west of Anchorage. I get that spot. Here, let's see. Yeah, February 2025. Earthquakes are closely volcano officials are closely monitoring Mount Spur in Anchorage, right outside of Anchorage. Yeah, I remember that, Magnolia. Me and Magnolia, we were going to talk about that. Crazy, crazy stuff. So it looks like it appears that we still have earthquakes popping up in Alaska right now as we speak. I just put in Mount Spur, and they're talking about another one that just happened in a community in Alaska. It's only a 3.5, but it happened at Nikiski, which is a little bit. It looks like it's in the water right there, just west of Anchorage. So it's very interesting. The point is, there's a lot of crazy activity going on right now, and things are churning. But again, it goes into the solar flares. I think maybe be playing a part of this. I think the king tides and the moon might be playing a part of this. I think the volcanic eruptions might be all playing. It's all tied about something that's Mother Earth. Something is brewing below. Something might be brewing below. The U.S. Geological Survey detected 7 aftershocks today from this earthquake, 4 to 5.6. Another thing too is they're also saying another place around the United States. Let's see here. Right. Let's see. They're also saying in South America there was also a few earthquakes too. Let me find out exactly the location. But yeah, there's a lot going on with these earthquakes, and look at this. Volcanic eruptions. So again, where we take you to Hawaii, I'm going to put pronunciation into the screen right here. This is
Kilauea.
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 I say that because I don't really want to butcher it. And it has erupted. It's been going on now. It seems like this feed has been going up for about an hour and a half, 2 hours in that general range. So we'll find out more about this. Let me see if I can get any more information on the earthquake, though. And I'm going to also look and see if I can find any clips of anything being shaken and rocked. A lot of times when these earthquakes happen, somebody's shaking something or they're filming something, and little things, wind chimers or different things inside people's homes will start shaking, or furniture starts shaking and things like that. Let me see if anything rocked in Anchorage, the beautiful city of Anchorage. One state I've never been to. Has anyone ever been to Alaska? I'm looking at personal homes there and everything like that. I mean, just the mountains, just a beautiful area. But a lot of things you can't access, and a lot of things in the wintertime. No roads paved. Survival of the fittest. We have a. Oh, interesting. No. Let me just see something here. So about 7 years ago, in 2018, same area had an earthquake near Anchorage, Alaska. The caused 117 injuries in the area. The Anchorage earthquake of 218. So, yeah, they get quite a few earthquakes up in that general area. So, seismic waves. Had a small jolt in Wasilla. Severe windstorm now. Windstorm, Wasilla. Home of Sarah Palin. That's all I know about Wasilla. Home of Sarah Palin, right? Let me see. So Wasilla, oh my goodness, it's cold where you live. It's cold, 11 degrees. 11 degrees. You have a high wind warning. So here's another situation, folks, going on in Alaska too. Let me see if I can actually get some of these Alaska feeds come from Anchorage. Let me see if I can get down by the water there. Holy smokes. Yeah, you are. You're getting literally Glock 20 AK. Alaska AK. You're in a high wind warning right now with 35 to 50 mile an hour winds with gusts up to 90 miles an hour. Are you kidding me? That's pretty intense. You're in a high wind warning right now in Alaska, just north of Anchorage, in the Wasilla area. I guess it's called Chickaloon, Glacier View, all in that area right now. High wind warning. People are urged to secure loose objects that could be blown around or damaged by the wind. Prepare for the possibility of widespread power outages. Use caution if you must drive. So the National Weather Service has issued a high wind warning for that area. Is that connected in any way? See what I mean? Is that connected? You got all types of warnings going on right now in Alaska with all types of what kind of warning? You got land hazard warnings, advisories, blizzard warnings, north of Anchorage right now. Winter weather advisory at coincidentally the same spot where this earthquake hit. Crazy. But thanks for sharing about Wasilla. You know, something I do want to also share another crazy phenomenon that hit in that area or the west coast of Alaska, the remnants of the typhoon. Some communities got rocked. Literally, the storm surge came in, like 15-foot storm surge, and actually leveled some of the communities. See, that's the thing about Alaska when you come with these earthquakes, tsunamis, or these powerful, I don't know, at that point, there would be Pineapple Expresses, but these massive fronts, I mean, it comes in and it could really rock these villages along the coast or, you know, flood or storm surge these areas in Alaska. Been seeing a lot about that. So I don't know if it's wise to live more inland or what, or not live in Alaska. No, at all. No disrespect. But Alaska, the beauty of Alaska, that's one state I've never been to, one state I would love to go to, just at least to check out. Or even go up to Point Barrow, Alaska, all the way up the top. I think they recently changed their name or something, one of the northernmost spots. At one point, I guess a couple of weeks ago, once it gets dark, it doesn't get light again for months. Doesn't get light. So let me see if I can find some information about this earthquake here. But in the meantime, look at the power of Mother Nature here. Kilauea. And that's what's going on with the Earth volcanic. Hey, I got a clip here about the windstorm in Alaska. They're saying gust of 50. Somebody just put a video saying severe winds right now in Alaska. So isn't that kind of interesting that you got at the same time you have a powerful 7.0 earthquake and there's only 18 of them that strong or above that hit the earth average each year. So you had a major earthquake, 7.0. You got a massive windstorm going on. You got solar flares coming from the sun. You got king tides on the west coast, powerful waves powering in. We covered the king tides. and you got volcanic eruption going on, and you got a bunch of aftershocks. Connected? Let me know what you think. Or is these just coincidence or totally separate incidents that have nothing to do with nothing? Tell you, it's pretty crazy stuff that I've been seeing. Just the totality of everything. Some other people, there's some people like online, and some of the people that talk, and this is kind of their niche, and they're trying to claim everything is connected in a sense of all these activities that are going on. Also, at the same time, extreme wind and cold arrives in Alaska. Temperatures plummeting. For instance, minus 21 degrees in Fairbanks. Anchorage is 17 degrees. Obviously, the farther you go towards Juneau and everything like that, that kind of gets into the 30, 40 degree range. But a lot of different things going on. Earth. Mother Earth, the power of Earth, the power of Mother Earth with this situation. Pretty powerful stuff. Welcome aboard, folks. JLR Investigates. We are just watching to see what's going on. Oh, and 7 days ago, they had a, near Anchorage, they had a 6.0 earthquake. And you know what? I do remember that. A few days ago, I was like, holy smokes, a 6.0. Near Anchorage happened they say 7 days ago. It says the largest quake in that area since 2021. So, you got a large earthquake that happened a week ago. You got a major one that happened today. Thank God it was in the remote area. Are we in trouble? Are we going to wake up in the morning and see something happening in California or a very populated area, even in South America, whatever, Chile along the coast somewhere, are we going to get something? We're going to get something pretty crazy. This is a live feed, by the way. We found this and we're like, hey, yeah, we'll put this up. It's fascinating to see. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Volcanic. Now, in reference to this area here, let me get some information up so we could talk a little bit about what's going on in Hawaii with the volcanic activity. Would this be the new? Does this happen all the time? Is this normal where volcanic, activity erupts? Some of the islands always have volcanoes churning right now. 10 minutes ago, Kilauea volcano just consumed one of the USGS's cameras and watching it. So the USGS puts up these cameras and so then you can see it. Pretty cool stuff. Lava spills as Hawaii's Kilauea resumes eruptions. That is NBC News. Let me see if I can get the info off of it. Started earlier today. It's shooting lava 1,000 feet. Plumes are reaching, plumes of smoke are reaching 20,000 feet into the air. According to the National Weather Service, winds are blowing from the northeast at about 10 miles an hour, which suggests that volcanic gas emissions and volcanic material may be distributed south. So you got about 1,000 feet in the air. This is shooting up. Crazy. And you got about 20,000 feet. And this is happening right now, right after this earthquake. So it's kind of fascinating to see and watch. But do we have a news clip on it? I'm going to look for a news clip. I'm also going to look for the Alaska wind because that seems like that's also trending too. So and thank you for commenting about the Alaska windstorm in Alaska. Volcanic. This comes, folks, as numerous different other things are happening. I want to give you some information on these solar flares too. That seem to be taking the forefront too. And these things that are popping out of the sun. A giant sunspot, rare solar flare caused radiation in Earth's atmosphere. Now, this was reported by space.com 2 days ago. Now, don't you think it's interesting with all this going on now? Rare solar flare caused radiation in Earth's atmosphere to spike to its highest level in nearly 20 years. According to space.com, radiation levels at airport flight altitudes briefly reached levels that could be potentially harmful to pregnant women. Radiation levels in Earth's atmospheres rose to the highest level in nearly 2 decades after a rare solar superflare pummeled the planet with high-speed particles from the sun. The solar flare, an extremely bright flash of light, erupted from the AR 4274 sunspot. They say this happened on November 11th. Classified as powerful X5.1. The flare followed a series of milder flares and coronal mass ejections, CMEs, that treated skywatchers to mesmerizing displays as far as south, the aurora. Apart from being the most intense solar flare of 2025 to date, the X-class flare also unleashed a stream of high-speed protons and other energetic particles towards the planet. Something very few solar flares do. This year, about 20 X flares hit Earth, but only the one from November 11th was accompanied by high-speed proton stream. That day, Earth-based monitors began showing elevated radiation levels. Researchers released several stratospheric balloons with sensors to see how radiation levels evolved through the atmosphere. They found that at altitudes where commercial aircraft fly around 40,000 feet, radiation briefly rose to levels 10 times higher than the normal cosmic ray related background. So with that being said, what about all these flights that are happening around the country at the time? And people 40,000 feet up, pregnant women, or what they say affects pregnant women. Did anyone get affected by this radiation from these solar flares that happened last month, worked its way to the United States or the world? The United States, the planet, whole world. Crazy stuff. So, I think it's all connected. But again, do we have evidence of that? Let's get some scientists to find out what's happening with these solar flares, what's happening with these earthquakes that have been popping up in Alaska, what's happening with these eruptions, what's happening with the king tides, sunspots. Look at this. Case in point. Friday, December 5th, 2025, yesterday, a report came out by The Independent. And in this report, folks, they say turbulence on a New Jersey-bound flight that sent 15 people to the hospital may have been caused by cosmetic rays from space. Airbus officials blame the incidents on intense solar radiation from the sun, but an academic believes the cause could come from another galaxy. This is some crazy stuff. This is crazy. This is crazy. After a airplane bound for New Jersey fell thousands of feet without warning, sending 15 people to the hospital, a university professor has given an unexpected possible explanation for the aircraft's mishap: cosmetic rays. The JetBlue Airbus A320 may have been hit by a stream of high-energy particles from a supernova explosion elsewhere in the galaxy. Cosmetic rays can interact with modern microelectronics and change the state of a circuit. They can cause a simple bit flip, like a 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. They can mess up information and make things go wrong. But they can also cause hardware failures too, where they induce a current in an electrical device and burn it out. The aircraft departed from Cancun on its way back to Newark end of October 30th when it plunged from the sky. The pilots managed to right the plane and made an emergency landing in Tampa. Oh, I remember that. Holy smokes, because there was another emergency landing at the same time somewhere else. And I was like, that's the second one in a day. I remember that. End of October. Yeah. There was 2 emergency landings in this country around the same time. I remember that because I live in the Tampa area, and I said, holy smokes, there's an emergency landing plane. But I didn't really read into it. That seems like that was the cause. Cosmetic rays. The extreme motion of the airplane caused the sudden drop, injured 20 people, including 15 who needed hospitalization. Some passengers suffered serious injuries, including head wounds that left them bloody for the remainder of the flight. Did they get compensated? Airbus officials blamed the incident on intense solar radiation from the sun that was interfering with the plane's navigation equipment. But Dyer, a academic, thinks the radiation is not from our sun, but rather a star that went supernova. Now, here's something else that's crazy. So you got, if it's not solar flares, not from the sun, they think it comes from a supernova, not from the sun, on another thing. He said the levels of radiation caused by a local solar event on October 30th wouldn't have had enough to cause the plane to malfunction, but a supernova could. When a star explodes into a supernova, it tosses protons across the universe at the speed of light. When those particles reach Earth, they can disrupt electronics, including those on board airplanes. Cosmetic rays are always smashing into Earth's atmosphere, but most don't have the power to cause disruptions like the one that dropped the JetBlue flight. This is some scary stuff. Local solar energy from our sun can cause disruptions to electronics when solar flares occur. The sun occasionally throws out bursts of energy from its surface, pelting the Earth with energy. Dyer said that aircraft manufacturers need to build a system that can withstand potential cosmetic interference. It's down to the manufacturers to produce hardy electronics, especially in safety units. Now, we're talking about different topics, but we're talking about the Earth, we're talking about the sun, we're talking about the atmospheres, we're talking about what's going on. Why are all these crazy things happening in the last few months? Why are these things happening? Solar flares scramble world's planes. Should travelers be worried? Popular mechanics. Earth just got slammed by a surprise solar flare. Why didn't scientists see it coming? Scientists can usually spot coronal mass ejections before they affect Earth, but this one snuck past coronagraphs and satellites. So this one snuck through. No one knew it was coming. It's all this technical stuff, but Oh my goodness, it's crazy. Now, we have a volcano that is erupting here right now, live in Hawaii. We take you to Hawaii live. Look at this. We had a massive earthquake.
Kilauea.
Kilauea. This is where this earthquake or this volcanic eruption is happening. In the right corner, right where you see that 7.0, is where this 7.0 earthquake happened, right on the Canadian border with Alaska. And Alaska's getting some wind right now. And Colorado's getting a lot of snow. Utah, a lot of snow. An Arctic outbreak continues to bring multiple hazards in parts of Alaska this weekend into early next week. Blowing snow and dangerous winds. 30 to 50 mile an hour sustained winds. That's tropical storm stuff. The National Weather Service in Anchorage said that there is a travel advisory. Use caution as strong winds reduce visibilities, power outages, and debris may lead to difficult travel. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy here. Pretty crazy. Volcanic eruption.
Guys, we're having a crazy windstorm here, and look at the mailbox lids have been blown off and are on the ground. It's blowing like gusts of 50 here. It's crazy. Kenai, Alaska.
Very short clip there, but the clip clearly says the winds blew off the mailboxes. The covers of the mailboxes. Crazy stuff. Yeah, a lot of clips keep coming out now about this windstorm in Alaska. I know there's an Anchorage feed. Let me see if I can find the Anchorage feed here. Get to see if I can see if we can see if there are any winds. A lot of types of stuff shakes. You get these. I always look at the Mount Washington Observatory. Lake Hood, Seaplane Base. Oh, yeah, it's windy there. We're going to switch up in a minute. The camera's like shaking and stuff right now. They always got this feed here, and it's totally frozen too. Seaplane Base in Anchorage, Alaska. And you can clearly hear. Yeah, I'm going to get this up here shortly. I'm going to look and see if we can get additional feeds. But we're also monitoring this in all here. Talk a little bit about the power of Mother Nature and these earthquakes. We came on a couple days ago talking about king tides. King tides return to the area, and that's with the moon, super moon. Now we take you here. This is Anchorage, Alaska. This is like we discussed, Seaplane Base, Lake Hood. You can hear the winds. See how everything's shaking? I was just informed a couple days ago a 6.0 earthquake hit near Reno, Nevada. Hear it? That's 30 to 50 mile-an-hour winds in this general area. There was a report that in the valley by Wasilla that winds reached 84 miles an hour. Early. That is crazy. That is like insane. We could go back to the earthquake, or we go back to the eruption. We'll go back to the eruption. Also, I want to talk a little bit about the king tides too. Just showing you in general, like we're talking about all the power of Mother Nature, and you got a lot of things going on, extreme weather-wise and extreme like stuff. Look at this, live. Whew, pretty powerful. Keep that here for a minute. Now, some people have been saying that this thing has been erupting for a while, on and off, but this one's pretty big for today. This one came out pretty. This is about 1,000 feet up in the air. USA Today just put out the report about the earthquake. They're saying 20 aftershocks have been felt in the area of Alaska. The 7.0 magnitude earthquake had rocked Alaska on Saturday, December 6th, according to the USGS. The earthquake happened around 11:41 a.m. local time. Over 20 aftershocks felt after 7.0 magnitude earthquake in Alaska hits. No reported injuries or damage, but acknowledged. Austin Holland, director of the operations of the Alaska Earthquake Center, says that the tremor was strongly felt in nearby areas of Alaska and Canada. He added that the earthquake originated in a fairly remote area. They said about 40 minutes after the earthquake, it began generating a pretty vicious, vigorous aftershock sequence. Magnitude 7 is certainly enough to cause ground failures. I wouldn't be surprised if we heard about roadways or something like that were impacted, or landslides in the area. But they don't know at this time the extent of the damage, if at all. They also warn that they expect more aftershocks in the next coming days and weeks. Said, though, that there is a very small chance there could be a larger earthquake within the ongoing sequence. No tsunami warnings. Thank God. So if a 7.0 hit a city or a very populated area, you would have serious damage. It's kind of like, like a hurricane where they have Cat 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or even, the tornadoes. This would be second worst level, 7 to 7.9 would be a second. Basically, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are they have six. They got 6 levels. If the earthquake is 2.5 or below, not felt. If it's 2.5 to 5.4, minor or no damage. If it's 5.5 to 6.0, slight damage to buildings. If it's 6.1 to 6.9, you got serious damage. If it's 7.0 to 7.9, you have a major earthquake, serious damage. That's what this was. If you have an 8.0 or greater, it's massive damage, can destroy communities. Gives you something in perspective here on that. I want to get something up on this king tides because we want to follow up on this. We were covering it the day before it was originally started. King tides. We talk a little bit about king tides. King tides could be part of this, maybe, maybe not. Massive waves hitting the west coast of the United States from San Diego all the way up to Portland, Oregon area. Oregon. King tides. Earthquake. Let me see. Yes, the largest earthquake to hit the region in Alaska in years. No tsunami.
It's expected in western Washington this weekend. Now, this is video of several king tides past. According to the Washington Emergency Management Division, some areas like Shelton could experience tides of up to 16 feet, which is about a foot above normal high tide. In Seattle, the Sea Grant Washington organization is expecting about 12 to 13 foot tides. Over in Westport, those tides could start happening today. And officials are asking anyone who visits these areas to exercise some caution this weekend. This file video is just bonkers.
That was and that was a king tide, combined with the stormy weather, right? So you get the higher water, and then you get the stormy weather, and then you see all that dramatic video, right? So I'm not expecting all that action, not as stormy of weather here coming up today and tomorrow. However, we will see some gusty wind in some spots. So I'm going to get right to that. Let's take a look at your radar right now, where we are seeing mainly dry conditions over the past 3 hours.
Basically, they're showing the radar too, but the point was
temperatures right now in the 40s, so we're running on the mild side. This was close to our high temperatures yesterday. So these king tides will be about 2 to 2.5 feet above ground level out along the coastline here. Mainly concerned about the coast today around midday, and then these inland locations here around Bellingham and then along the North Sound and over the San Juan Islands. You'll notice that here as we get into tomorrow morning's high tide, which will be around 8 or 9 o'clock or so. So high tide midday tomorrow or today out along the coast, and then tomorrow we'll be dealing with that up there.
King tides. So king tides, earthquakes, eruptions. That's the conversation that we're having today. Believe it or not, no one's really talking about, like media-wise about this earthquake per se, or, any like what's going on with these solar flares, like media-wise, like mainstream media. I'm a little shocked by that. Powerful. Look how powerful that is. I mean, it's pretty big, folks. We also put 7.0 on the screen.
Kilauea.
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 People say cosmetic weapons. We're always hearing this about it on the West Coast, though. Haven't heard much about the East Coast of the United States, or even the South, or in the North. Let's see if I can get anything on like the solar flare on news wise to kind of keep you informed here, because we're definitely paying attention to all this. And I always want to hear what the don't forget the aurora that happened too. Solar flares. They're also saying solar storm warnings. G-force solar storm came. Earth got a record-breaking solar storm about 3 weeks ago. The aurora. Kilauea. Yeah, massive winter storm warnings and high wind warnings in the Alaska area. Solar storm. Fresh lava fountains spewed in spectacular fashion from Hawaii's Kilauea volcano on Saturday. This has been going on off and on for about a year here, but today's was the biggest in a while, or the most since it has been erupting. Sustained lava fountains approximately 75 to 100 feet in height. So the other one was saying 1,000. They're also saying here 75 to 100 feet. spewing from the sky. So whether it's 100 feet or 1,000 feet, that stuff is pretty intense coming out there. What's the temperature? The 38th such surge of molten rock and gases from deep underground. 38th this year. Local airports will not be affected by the affected volcanic gas or ash. Kilauea. Oh, okay. So speaking about in Nevada, yeah, that's another thing too. Is there was like mass panic with Nevada because they were saying a 6.0 hit Nevada the other day. Then they're saying it didn't, and there was a lot of like confusion. I was trying to get more information about that Nevada earthquake, but apparently there was like some alert that went off saying there was one, but it ended up not being true. The Hubbard Glacier in the Yukon, Canada. So it's a few hundred miles away, the earthquake today from Valdez. It's not Valdez. Valdez. Remember the spill? It's like right where we're Canada and Alaska, right? It's like right at that, the boot part. Welcome aboard, folks. JLR investigates. Well, I want to go back to Alaska feet. Let me go back to Anchorage here a minute. Let me just see something. Where was that feed again? Because I think I saw that and then it went away. But it's getting really like crazy windy out there right now. See the volumes up on this one. Here's one in Sitka, Alaska. It looks kind of like just foggy there. The other one there, this stuff is like coming out pretty, spewing out pretty crazy, folks. And then usually at one point it dies down. It's kind of windy, I would say. They're getting gusts 50 miles an hour. Definitely got the camera shaking. Oh, that kind of gives you a perspective of what's going on in Alaska right now after they received a 7.0 earthquake. And at least 20 aftershocks on top of massive winds going on right now. And snow. And it is also, well, brutally below freezing right now. Look at the crazy winds. It just makes me shake. Or glad I live in Florida. How about you? Yeah, Alaska actually had a very powerful earthquake way back. It was like a 9.2. Hear those winds? That's pretty crazy. .2 in 1964. That was the most powerful earthquake ever to hit Alaska. The second largest ever reported globally was the 1964 Great Alaska Earthquake. Good Friday, magnitude 9.2. It struck Prince William Sound, March 27, 1964, causing immense destruction, massive landslides, tsunami that affected coastal areas, and even reached distant shores. This catastrophic event is the strongest in U.S. history, and it profoundly changed Alaska's landscape. It caused 139 deaths. Take you back to the eruption here. Look at that. That's sick. Look at that. That is sick right there. That's just like, now we're going back down towards Hawaii, just watching these things and watching these different feeds. You know, me, myself, I'm fascinated with watching this like weather and natural events and things like that. Never want to see destruction, but in awe when these things happen. I mean, it's bad because these people's lives get affected by all this. But this is, you know, this is something here in Hawaii that's been going on. But I do think it's all connected between the earth in some way about what is happening, and it could be connected because this is a massive eruption here. Even though this has erupted numerous times in the last year, but this is one of the bigger ones. And I'm just wondering, it happens around the same time. Boom, you get this massive earthquake, and also radiation, solar flares, auroras, king tides. Snow, winds. All towards the West Coast. Now, you know, a lot of the people are going to say it's climate change, global warming, climate change. This is a cause of man-made that's causing all this. You do hear it. Climate change is the reason why we're getting all this. You'll say it's climate change. Burwash Landing, Canada. Hubbard Glacier earthquake. Glacier. This actually, here's another thing is too. What about the glaciers? If this earthquake hit the glaciers, what's going to happen with the glaciers? They're going to break off? Will they refreeze? Hit the glacier area. What happens with the glaciers? Does anyone know that if there has been damages to the glaciers? Great questions. Yeah, CBS News just put a clip out about this. Look at this. That's crazy. That's sick. That's sick. If you look at that, just stare at it for a second. That's sick. Mount Spur. What happened with the volcano in Alaska? Did it erupt? I think you're talking about Mount Spur. It did not, but the fear is that actually, so a few months ago, earlier this year, they thought the fear was that Mount Spur was going to erupt in Alaska. So I just did a follow-up here, and they actually came out with an article a few months ago saying that it's declining. It's the risk of eruption is declining. Alaska scientists take Mount Spur off a volcano alert list as eruption risk dwindles. Spur erupted in 1953 and 1992. It also gave misleading signs in 2004, and 2006. Alaska's volcano experts no longer expect an eruption anytime from Mount Spur. That's good news. The closest active volcano to Anchorage. A couple months ago, they formally lowered the alert level for Mount Spur from yellow to green after months of declining activity. Things are okay right now, and hopefully that continues in the future, said David Fee, coordinating scientist for the University of Alaska Fairbanks Geophysical Institute. which operates the observatory alongside the USGS. While the land immediately around Spur isn't inhabited, ash emitted from the volcano has disrupted life in South Central Alaska before. In 1953 and 1992, Spur eruptions dumped ash onto Anchorage, disrupting air travel. Starting in February 2024, scientists had observed large numbers of small earthquakes beneath the volcano and ground near where it was deforming, surging upward. Ice atop the volcano melted, and air samples taken above the volcano show signs of magma moving beneath the surface. So in October 2024, they raised the alert level. And then in March of this year, they thought there was a very likelihood that Mount Spur would erupt, but then it just ended up not erupting. Kind of like everyone at ease. I'm like, hey, at ease. It's not going to erupt. But look what happened today. Gina47 earlier says, any updates on the mass shooting in Muskegon? We saw that earlier, a shooting in Muskegon. Apparently multiple people shot from a house and an armed suspect. There wasn't really much feeds up on that or anything like that, lack of information. So we are definitely monitoring the situation. Appears like whoever did that is still out on the run. Unrelated case, but Muskegon, Michigan. We always got our eyes on Michigan with the craziness in the cold too. It looks like snow up there. Then I also was monitoring a mall shooting in Fort Worth area, but it just looks like it was like an isolated incident. Somebody got shot at the mall. Not shocking, right? Mall shootings. Craziness. In the criminal crime aspect of things, it seems like it's been pretty calm today. Don't even see like crazy shootings or anything. Thank God. There was a mass shooting in South Africa at a bar. I'm just talking about a few other things going on. And that suspect that we were covering yesterday in Granite City, Illinois, he was apprehended early this morning. There was a shooting in Baltimore with like 4 people died, some quadruple shooting, 2 dead, 2 injured. It's been pretty quiet. Good. It's what we want. We could talk a little bit about weather. We could talk a little bit about seismic activity and all that craziness. Look, this is pretty powerful, man. It really is, if you think about it. It's like, whoa. What do we got here? A volcanic eruption. Earthquake. What's next? I'm also monitoring. Let me go to the USGS site, see if they put any info. See if everyone on that Alaska is okay. Any dangers in Alaska? They are saying there's a likelihood of numerous aftershocks. There is a 3% chance of a 7.0 or higher in the next week. There is a 22% chance. Now, that's pretty high, 22%. 3%, that would be 3 out of 10, 3%, or 3 out of 100, 3%. Probably won't happen 7 or above, but magnitude 6 plus, 22%. At least one aftershock, 6.0 or higher, 22%. 5.0 plus 72% chance. Pretty high. 4.0 or higher, there's a 98% chance that they'll get an aftershock that is M4 or higher. In the next week, M3, there is a 99.9% chance. Good news out of all this, no tsunamis. If there's any good news, if we ever get any good news out of anything, there's no chance of any tsunami. That's good. All right. I'm going to look at their interactive map. Yeah, there is like literally like nothing in this general area of Alaska where this happened. Northwest of Juneau, southeast of Anchorage. Boom! So this is still going on though. What a sight. This is legit. This is what's going on live right now. This is a volcanic eruption that is blowing up here.
Kilauea.
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 I have to play that so I don't butcher the name. Kilauea. Hey, Dr. Amy. Nice to see you, Dr. Amy. We're talking about, for people that are coming in the chat, we're talking about earthquakes, talking about volcanic eruptions. This is legit. This is happening now. We're talking about king tides. We're talking about solar flares, solar radiation, auroras, windstorms, snowstorms. Just a bunch of Mother Nature stuff today. This is the Mother Nature Live, the live about Mother Nature, the power of Mother Nature. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. New York Post just came out with an article about the earthquake. They just posted this 3 minutes ago. See if they could put any additional information. The nearest Canadian town near the earthquake was Haines Junction, which is 80 miles away. There's just nothing out there. It's like glacier. They pretty much showed a picture of where this earthquake hit. I'm going to embed this in a second because it's pretty much just nothing but glacier. Get this up in a few. The glaciers, folks. Middle of nowhere. Imagine being dumped out there in the middle of a glacier. Tell you to go home. You die out there. But a lot of the experts are worried about the big one. The big one's going to hit. When? We'll be here for it on JLR Investigates. might go back to that wind feed and see if we if it's any. We'll look on it here and see if we got any crazy winds going on in Anchorage right now. Lake Hood. Yeah, the camera's feed still shaking for Lake Hood. Right here. Crazy, right? Yeah, that's crazy wind. So we're monitoring different things that are happening in Alaska and Hawaii today. This is the topic of the conversation. Earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions. Those planes aren't even in operation right now. You could see the wings shaking on the planes. You could see them. Whoa. Sounds pretty intense to me. I heard voices on that feed. I was looking at a feed earlier in Deer Valley, and I guess in Utah, and there was crazy winds and snow. They had winter storm warnings and everything in Utah, Park City, also in Colorado Rockies. So this is Alaska, where there is a high wind warning coming through. You can see things are shaking like crazy. I'm seeing all your comments. Keep your comment. Where's everyone watching from? How many other people from Alaska are in the chat? We got people from Alaska in the chat. Where's everyone at? We had Wasilla in there. I saw an Anchorage earlier. Also saw Juneau. Montana, Iowa, Montana. Cold up there in Montana. England. Southern California. Yeah, see where everyone's from? Utah, Pennsylvania, Detroit, McAllister, Oklahoma, Washington, D.C., Bill of Rights from Washington, D.C., Chicago, Jacksonville, cold Ohio now. So this makes you want to turn your heat up. Fort Pierce, Florida, UK, we got UK, Daytona, Knoxville. I lived in Alaska for 40 years. Just saw I lived in Alaska. I live in Alaska for 40 years. Holy smokes. How do you withstand all the cold in the winter times? You just hunker down? How do you deal with all that cold? I gotta see what this is. There might be another feed going on. Here, let's go back to the lava. We'll go back to the lava. Boom! Volcanic eruption. The media is not talking about this stuff. Or they can't, or they just don't know what to say. Are they going to link any of this? A volcanic eruption, folks. Live. This is live. Okay, so one thing I noticed, it's crazy looking. Just, hey, look how crazy this is. Because look how the lava pushes to the left and the smoke pushes to the right. But just kind of look how it intertwines there. That's sick. You think about that. That is crazy. It's just spewing out there. Sick. Yeah, they got Alaska news source like weather forecast. It's just the interior and it's crazy. It's just the cold temperatures are just insane. Like 20, 30 below. It's like insanity. So yeah, a lot of people in the chat from different locations. We all just fascinating with the craziness out there, and this is what we got. I tried to look for more king tide feeds, but I didn't see any. I don't think they did any like crazy damage, the king tides. They just put out a report in Muskegon. Give you an update on Muskegon. 2 dead, 3 injured. Crazy. Muskegon. People killing people in the cold. Spewing out live. Usually sometimes it takes, I've seen these things, but I also seen these eruptions like wind down within hours, and then it just turns into just like all these like just smoke on the ground. And I can't tell if it's like lessening, and who knows how long this will erupt for. It's still a scene, a sight. Look at that. In the meantime, I'm scouring around to see what else other information we can share. It's fascinating. Look at that. That earthquake in Russia woke up a lot of stuff. Christopher Arnett, I saw a crazy video from Russia. Let me see if I can find that clip when they had that Russia earthquake, because there was like a shepherd that a man was walking this shepherd dog, and the waves just came in and almost like took the dog. Let me see if I can find that clip, because it was like crazy with the earthquake in Russia. Let me see if I can find that clip, because it was posted on social media a couple months back. Tag you in a short windstorm. Oh yeah. So this is, I got the clip. I found it in August. Breaking 911 posted it. Let me get this up in the pipeline here. This was from that earthquake in Russia. I found it, and it was a guy walking. It's right after the tsunami, the earthquake, and then the tsunami starts coming in, the waves. Pretty sick. Dog almost got swept away, but the guy's so high up. Just shows you, like, with tsunamis and stuff, like if you get a 7.0 that's right off the coastline of like Seattle or something, Portland or Los Angeles or San Jose, these tsunamis could just destroy, like, it looked like the Japanese tsunami or the Indonesian tsunami, like literally would just destroy coastal communities. That can happen. It can happen. Don't want it to happen, but that's the dangers. I mean, it takes one of those things. All the water gets swept out, woof, and then just woof, and comes back. And you literally, it's coming in like a freight train. This was the tsunami in Russia. Now check this out.
Волны цунами.
That was close. Almost got his dog. That's how high it went. His dog almost gone. They're probably about 50, 60 feet up.
И с лодкой моей.
He's breathing heavy. He almost lost his dog. Now, breaking 911 says that happened with the. It could have happened from that, or it doesn't say. It just says man walking his dog captures moment tsunami waves reach Russia's Kamacha Peninsula. I guess if I'm pronouncing that right, but it got posted August of 2025. I know some people in the comments are like, well, that happened last year. Whenever it happened, you know, the guy's literally on the coastline there. He's about 50, 60 feet up, and the waves almost reached his dog. It's just how powerful it just comes in. These tsunamis are no joke. And, you know, if you got a 7.0, They're also talking about how far, how depth, how deep it is, and how shallow, the difference on all that. But if you got a 7.0 off a coastline of a major city pretty close, you might be talking about some crazy tsunami. Prepare. And these things can just come in and they can go far too. Go in far, go in inland. We always hear storm surge and hurricanes and everything like that, but that would take it to a whole other level. Still spewing. See if I can get some additional information here. Or anything else I can share with you. This has been interesting, to say the least. I wish like one of these media outlets would talk about the actual solar stuff that's going on, and the spots on the sun and the radiation spewing, things like that. Because I keep seeing that. I've seen kind of like YouTube personalities and people talk about these type of things, but I don't really see mainstream media talking about the solar flares. Also recently saw something like the sun takes up the whole universe. The sun takes up 98.8% of the entire mass in the entire universe. Like we're just a little tiny speck. Pretty crazy. What happens if the sun goes? What happens to all of us? We go. Now they say eventually in 500 billion years it's going to fade off, or we won't be around. You see the movie like Deep Impact, and there's like movies where meteorite. Wouldn't shock me if something, in the foreseeable future starts heading for Earth, and we're in a situation where something's going to deep impact or, something and hit us. Alaska just had a 2.9 aftershock. Was just told in the chat. I've been hearing multiple aftershocks continuous happening. They expect there's pretty much a 99.9% chance of aftershocks in that range 2 and on. I think it was 3 and on, or at least the 3 has a 99% chance in the next week. Spewing it out. AP. Let's see what the AP says. They keep quoting this individual named Allison Bird in their articles. So there's also a news report a couple of days ago in San Francisco. For Bay Area. Oh, Bay Area, Nevada. Earthquake alert wakes up Bay Area with warning of 5.9 quake. And it says it was an error. Just after 8 a.m. days ago, Bay Area residents received a My Shake alert warning of a magnitude 5.9 hitting Carson City, Nevada, close to Lake Tahoe. The quake also appeared on the USGS map of latest earthquakes, but within minutes, the report quake disappeared from its page. False alarm. But I got everybody all like going crazy and everything like that. Like, oh my goodness, earthquake coming. Ended up not being true. Sometimes you get that with those like Amber Alert shootings and alerts. Isolated parts of the state, they send it out to the entire state. Shootings and lockdowns. Yeah, imagine you get an alert. Earthquake. You'd be all panicking and going crazy. Like a tornado warning. Pretty wild stuff. Let's continue to look. Spewing. We are prepared for the big one. Y'all are great in the comments. Thanks for stopping by, and thank you for leaving comments. A lot of you have interesting perspective. I always read your comments, always see your comments, and y'all are great. Brianna Costa 4689. Thank you. Brianna Costa 4689. Thank you. Chris Dunn. Thank you. Glock 28K, our Alaskan friend. Tag you in a short windstorm. Nice. Thank you. I'll go check it out. Send it to me, Glock 28K. Tips at JLR Investigates. Tips at JLR Investigates. Tips, yeah, footage. Glock 28K has footage. Tips at JLR Investigate. If you're still here, I just saw that earlier, 7:27. So about 20 minutes ago. Comment. Got footage. See if we get it. Tips at JLR Investigates. Tips at JLR Investigates. And if anyone else has a tip to share with us of what's going on. Tips at JLR Investigates. Almost Christmas time, folks. Give a few minutes to see if we get it. Glock 28K. Don't forget, there was an earthquake just outside New York City a few months back. Remember that? Shook Jersey, our Jersey friends. Shook a lot of our Jersey friends. Got rattled. Yes, so they are reporting numerous aftershocks still going on. Cold weather advisories, gale warning effects tonight. I mean, you're talking crazy winds. All types of warnings going on in Alaska, from gale warnings to high wind warnings to cold weather advisories to blizzard warnings. Bethel, Alaska, blizzard warnings. This is how crazy it is. In Bethel, Alaska, temperature 1 degrees. Wind chill 30 below. Winds 40 miles an hour with 55-mile-an-hour gusts. Snow. Blizzard warning. Bethel, Alaska. So they got all kinds of warnings and everything in that area. Stay safe of their high wind warning with Scylla. And then a lot of gale warnings, winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, just all over the state. Boom, look at that. Still going. The power of Mother Nature. Look at this closely here. What are my glasses? Oh yeah, that's like even with glass. Put your head. Well, I'm not telling you all to put your head to the screen, but if you look really closely, it's really in depth, and it's like showering down and like laying on the surface there, and at the same time, there's this cloud that's spewing from this. It's crazy if you really think about it. Massively. Does anyone see any indication that it's going down at all? Or about the same? Because if I look at the feed, I have like the same feed here, but I'm kind of like reversing it. And I don't know if they shift the camera in more, but it looks like it was really intense more earlier. He says just lava. It's lava. We're on the lava time. It's incredible. Look at it. It's incredible. Think about it. Look at that. I would actually go on a vacation and pay to go to something like this just to watch if I was at a safe distance. It kind of looks fake, but it's real. It's actually real. Now, what does this do? Does this, once it melts, it makes the island grow bigger? We should go to an oil field. See when the oil spurts out. I'd go check this out. I would. In person. Dude, if you touched it, if you just even went, psst, your finger would be gone. What do we got? A flare that hit Alaska 1239. Michael Reacts says, let me see what's your comment. Let me continue to read your comment. The comments are coming so through fast. Michael C Reacts. IW was a 8.1 McGlass flare that hit Alaska at 12:39 p.m. and 2 minutes later, there was an earthquake, real-time solar wind and check time and location of solar flare hit on the Earth. Interesting. Michael Reacts. Solar flare, then an earthquake? A solar flare, then the earthquake? I think it's all related. I really think this is related to the earthquake. I do. I think everything out there in that ring of fire is all connected in some way. And then we got the space and we got the solar stuff that's going on up there and these phenomenons that's going on and the alignment of the moon and the tides, the super moons and the tide. I think it's all related. I really do. Changed my mind. I think it's all related. Now, all it takes is, because like we're all here, right? We have air, we're all here. Just one little pinch of something out of sync, one little thing out there out of sync can disrupt our whole way of life. Does anyone live there? In Hawaii? Yes. This is the island of Hawaii. I don't think they live near well, they're both Alaska and Hawaii. NOK. Malin, our NOK friend, our Norway friend. So this is in Hawaii right now. Now, I'm going to see where this location is relative to population-wise. I do think people live. I mean, yeah, but it's like literally like, yeah, there's communities below. Coastal communities. I don't think any of them are in danger here. Hilo, Mahana Beach. There's communities. I think this is up there, though. This is up to, it snows in Hawaii, or it snows on some of the big islands sometimes. They get snow. It's the big island. Call it the island of Hawaii. So this pretty much is on the island, the farther, more southern island, the most southern island. So has these eruptions disrupted people? I think in the past they have. Cancel flights. I mean, if we think about the Alaskan eruptions, yes, flights canceled. What happened to Mount St. Helens years back? People around. But like, if there's whatever's like lava's coming up, does it just they turn off the faucet or what? It just stops, or the lava that's all shoots up, just they shot up all the lava and that's it. It's all out, ran out of lava. And then they wait for more lava to build. Like, can someone explain that a little bit? So I think this is like 20 miles, 25 miles to the nearest population from this location here, from civilization. I don't know if you can see. But this seems like this is in like the middle of nowhere. What is Royal Hawaii Estate? So there's a lot of beaches and everything like that. I would say about 10 miles to the south there is probably the beach, but there's nothing there. But I'm talking about like with communities where people live. About 25, 30 miles away. So it's pretty far. So I don't think humans are going to be affected here unless you're a hiker. Someone out there just getting caught up in the mix. That's another thing. Like I've always thought, you're out there hiking or you're out there in some moment somewhere and they get the earthquake. Flash floods too. You got to be careful, hikers and flash floods in those canyons. Flooding could be 40 miles away and all that water runs down the canyon. Next thing you know, you're in the canyon and you get caught. Flash floods. Now, the earthquake that hit Alaska, middle of nowhere, there's nothing there, like nothing. It's like glaciers. But it makes me wonder, does the glacier ice caps breaking off because of an earthquake? Would that affect our waters, the poles, or what? It's always cool to see things in real time, though. Like we're doing here. Absolutely crazy. Yeah. No, thank you, Malin. Malin, our friend from Norway. Thank you. Thank you for the information. Very grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And nice to see you as always. You learn a lot from Norway, huh? Seeing what's going on in the United States. Probably in shock and awe. The craziness, the good, the bad, things that you see. A lot of our international friends see things that are happening in America. They're like, whoa, if we don't get this here at home like this, whether it's a hurricane, tornado, blizzard, eruption, earthquake, mass shootings, school shootings, missing people, crazy stories. America has it all. Keeps spewing out. See what time the sun sets there. You know, at nighttime, this looks sick. At night, like crazy at night. $5.49 p.m. Hawaii time. So I think sunsets in a few more hours. Five hours. So a couple more hours. Yeah, at night, once the sun goes down, if this thing is still erupting, it would put out a massive ball of, looks like the sun. Literally, it does. It's crazy. Matter of fact, let me see something here. Let me go back here and see if it was light when it originally, or an old one. And sometimes that lava starts spewing down the hill too. I've seen that before too with these other eruptions. We got a special guest. We got a special guest right here. OJ. We got OJ watching. OJ jumped on my lap. She's like, I want to see a volcanic eruption. Don't you? Yes. Got a special guest. We watching eruptions? Look, all right. So I reversed it back a little bit to show you what it looked like earlier at night. It's kind of like the beginning stages, but it just shows you it's just sick. This is like crazy. Look, just like an orange ball. This was like way earlier. But I wanted to kind of give you the earlier perspective on how these things start at the beginning stages and they just spew out. It's almost like a spot on the sun. It's amazing. Isn't it amazing, OJ? It's amazing seeing these. It's like, whoa. All right, we're going to go back to current time. USGS. Still spewing out. Still spewing out. Look at this. I don't know, man. If you just stare at it for a minute, you kind of do think it's kind of like fake. This thing's just, this is, how hot is lava? How hot is lava? Lava is extremely hot, with temperatures typically ranging from 700 degrees Celsius to 200 degrees Celsius, which is 300 or 1300 degrees Fahrenheit to 2200 degrees Fahrenheit. So we'll just, I mean, it fluctuates, but let's just say it's this temperature right now is literally 1,200 degrees to 2,200 degrees. Are you kidding me? I go into a hot tub and it's 104 and I'm hot. You just melt. You would literally, but you probably wouldn't even be able to get close. You'd probably evaporate even if you went close to it, right? How close can you get to lava? Let's see. How close can you get to lava? All right, Volcano World. How close can I get to lava? And will it hurt or kill me? How close you can get depends on what kind of lava flow it is and whether you are upwind or downwind. For example, the most approachable lava is Pahoho. This is because each toe forms an insulating skin seconds after emerging on the surface. The skin is at first flexible, then hardens. But even when flexible, it is a good insulator. Just give me the answer here. It doesn't really say here. Lava won't kill you if it briefly touches you. You would get a nasty burn, but unless you fell in it and couldn't get out, you wouldn't die. People are saying we have been at least 200 to 400 meters above the flow. But as soon as we were over the channel, we could immediately feel the radiant heat through the windows. So they're saying you could touch it. You're not going to die by touching it, but you're going to get a severe burn. That's coming from Oregon State University. Some people are saying on Reddit they stood 3 feet from lava. I wouldn't go near that. What happens if the lava spews into the ocean? Can it put out the ocean? Don't think so. It just spews out and it hits down. It's just crazy. Yeah, this is pretty sick. Earthquake and volcano erupts. 2 topics that we talked about. Learned a little bit. Sick. Spewing out. Murky. Tag you on X with NASA space weather info sites, Murky. I'm going to go check out. Thank you for the tag. See if I find it. Got it, Murky. Thank you. NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this is basically talking about space weather information. I'm actually going to follow this page. I wasn't following it. Yeah, who knows what's up in the sky with geomagnetic storms and I have to educate myself a little bit about this more. John Wolf 3206. I followed that site, Murky. Thank you. There are special lava suits scientists wear. Go right up to it and take samples. Oh, I wouldn't want to do that. A special suit, and they go over there and take samples. What about if there's like a hole in their suit? There are some great videos of scientists in Iceland doing it. I'll have to go check that out. We'll get them prepared for our next eruption live. Sure, we'll be back on this topic again at some point. So they just wear suits, right? And they just go up there and take samples. Pretty risky. I don't know. I was just looking at scientists. Speaking of scientists, you know, they're I was looking about I was recently watching a video of life on Antarctica. Literally, like, just scientists live on there. And at one point in the winter, no more flights unless there's emergency. You're stuck there. But at one point, you go outside of these, you know, their little centers that they built on Antarctica. You go out there in the brutal winter and these like crazy windstorms, and you'll get frostbite within seconds. You got to have like suits and special equipment. You can't go out there bare skin for more than seconds, like literally. Antarctica. I'm always fascinated with this stuff. Well, we'll keep our eye on the earthquakes, and we'll keep our eyes on the aftermath. Did you enjoy it, OJ? You enjoy the show? You can't see OJ, but she's on my lap. Maybe you could see her. Come here. Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello. Well, there she goes. We love you. The power of Mother Nature. Eruptions. Take the glasses off. I'm wearing a lot of glasses lately. All right. With that being said, I don't see anything else really. But you can go. They got the USGS site. You can watch this live. And if you ever get the chance, you want to see what's going on in Alaska. There's a live feed on the there's an Alaska live feed at Lake Hood. Seaplane base. You could see the, you know, I periodically look at it to see what the weather is. I like watching the Mount Washington Observatory cam. I like watching a lot of these ski resort cams. Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Leavenworth, Washington. It's another cool feed. Crazy stuff. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to sign off. Stay safe out there. If any type of crazy earthquake or something else happens, we will share for sure. It's been interesting. Cool to watch, kind of do my research while we're online, checking around, seeing what's going on. And you guys make it fun on the chat. You guys got great comments, got interesting perspectives, and we appreciate each and every one of you. If you're new to the channel, make sure you sub up, like, hit that notification button. We cover everything. We're one of these channels that just keep it interesting. We cover all these different topics, right? We don't have one particular niche. We just like to see what's compelling and what's out there interesting in the time and real moment, breaking real time. We go from crime scenes to earthquakes to tornadoes to missing people. We do it all on this channel. Murders, very, very sad. What's going on in the cities and everything. You guys have a very blessed, safe Saturday night. I'm sure we'll be back within the next 24 hours on something. So stay tuned, folks. And if there's ever a story that you think is interesting and you want to share with JLR and Magnolia Investigates, tips at JLR Investigates, TIPS at JLR Investigates. We love to hear from you if you have a story to share or something's breaking and going on and you don't see us live and you want to inform us. Tag us at on X, at JLR Investigates on X. Tag me. You'll probably see it quicker, or send us an email and we'll get the email, because sometimes we miss things, you know, or sometimes we're a little late to the party. We're usually ahead of the curve, but sometimes we are. And we depend on all of you out there to let us know what's going on so we can make a difference, bring public awareness, and follow the story through its entirety. 3 Orion 33, thank you very much. Very grateful. Thank you. And nice to see you. All right. We'll talk soon, folks. Stay safe out there. Be blessed. Until next time, JLR Investigates.